In front of you are my Specialized S-Works 5 racing shoes. Now, I realise that these are not the latest version, and the S-Works 6 have been out for quite some time now. So this review won't really be useful to anybody looking to buy the latest Specialized shoes, but I thought I'd make it anyway to show you what happens to Specialized shoes after they've been ridden extensively and very hard. Now, these shoes have got shoe covers on them and other stuff as well, which I'll explain in a minute. I wanted to show you the state these shoes are in the last time I wore them. Now, the last time I wore these shoes was December 2016. I haven't worn them this year yet because they're simply not winter shoes. My general approach is I wear these throughout the hot season, which is quite long in Japan. And then as the weather gets colder, I start adding more things to block the cold. When it gets to the point where I can't take it anymore, I put them in the cupboard and I change to some heavier winter shoes. So all this stuff on the front is what I left them with the last time I put them on. I bought these in January 2014, so I've done about 60,000 kilometers on them in all sorts of weather and hard and so on. So first of all, I'll just go through the construction of them, and then we can look at all the things that are good and all the things that have gone wrong, as usual. Okay, so yeah, it's very slimline. The bottom is carbon. This top part is a faux leather, I believe. It's got a vent here, a vent here. There's no other vents on the bottom. The tongue is sewn on to this side and loose on this side. So these parts close over. There's lining on the inside top section going round the heel. It uses 2 boas and a little front strap. The heel section is quite solid. It's not carbon, I don't believe, but it's some kind of plastic in there. This section is soft all the way around. The toe's soft all the way around. It's got another vent there. Mesh holes here. Again, this is all soft here. You can see the shape of that hard plastic part there, which forms the heel. It's got a little rubber part here to prevent wear when you put your toe down at traffic lights, which, well, we'll get onto that later. The heel section is 2 separate parts which are replaceable. These are the specialized body geometry insoles that come with the shoe. I've not actually used these a lot. I replaced them with Physic ones because I thought I was having some issues with numbness, but actually that turned out to be something different, which I'll get onto later. Inside you can see the 2 screws for where the heel parts go on. Looking down inside, that's just cardboard all the way down. Inside the tongue is mesh here. So now I'm going to go through all the different parts of it and tell you how they work in practice and which bits are good and which bits are shite. All right. So general comments then. Wearing these things is really nice. They slip on very easily. I previously had some Physic shoes, which were, in retrospect, very clunky compared to these things. When I got these and put them on, it felt like I was putting on sort of ballet shoes, which was good. They feel extremely light, and overall, they're generally very comfortable to wear. When you are on the edge, thrashing it about up a climb or whatever, you never really think about your feet. These vents are good. The reason I know they're good is, 1, my feet don't overheat in these, even in really, really hot weather. And 2, when the weather gets cold, I can feel the cold air really coming through these vents. So they do work in both directions. These are definitely not winter shoes. This vent here as well, you can really feel the cold air on your toes. And again, here, that's really good. In terms of heat management and stuff, these things are really, really great. There's only been a few times when I've come home and they've actually been covered in sweat, and that's when I've been riding in like 40 degrees. The boa system is really great. I'm definitely a fan of this. Anyone using laces, it's just a fashion thing, no matter what you say. All right, this is the way to do it. This part I have never actually used. I opened it once and then I closed it again, and actually it doesn't move. Like, you can't, there's no adjustability. Like, you try and pull that through and then it doesn't work. There's almost no point for this part. It seems ridiculous. And I've looked on other Specialized shoes as well, and this bit doesn't really move. I don't know what they've put it on there for. I mean, it holds that part in, but there's no adjustability. This material is so hard, and this angle is so tight. What can you do? You can't put it through to there, and then, but then you have to, like, it has to sort of form a new angle there. Like, it doesn't work. Really, really strange that. These boas have lasted really well. Like I say, I've done about 60,000 kilometers on these over a number of years, and they're on their way out. The ratchet sound's got a bit soft. on this shoe, which is my left foot, these boas did actually die. Now, my theory is wherever you live in the world, whichever side of the road you ride on, the side of the bike which goes towards the gutter gets the most dirt. And this is the case in Japan as well. We ride and drive on the left-hand side. So this set of boas got the most grime and dirt from the side of the road, and they died first. In terms of how they died, they had a sort of slow, depressing death rather than going out in flames. The ratchet got more and more mushy over time, and then eventually this one here started to sort of open a little bit when I was riding. Nothing disastrous. At that point, I thought, right, it's time to get a new set. First of all, I went on the BOA website because I read on a forum that you can get replacements for free. But the BOA website is so convoluted and so ridiculous to try and get any of these for free. I just gave up. And I think they've done that by design. Their business model states, oh yeah, we'll give you a set for free, but it's fucking impossible to actually figure out how to get a set off them for free. And then it will take weeks to do so. So I just wended my merry way down to the bike shop, spent, I don't know, $15 or whatever, and got a new pair. Now, my problem here is that I only needed a new set for the left shoe. These boas for these shoes are actually sold in my bike shop by Specialized. Now, they sell them in pairs. Now, the pairs come for one for the left shoe and one for the right shoe. So I bought one pair. This one goes the right way and this one goes the wrong way. At first, that threw me a little bit, but I've sort of become accustomed to it now. I realised I could have just bought an entirely new set for both shoes, but whatever. So I would prefer Specialized to sell them individually. That'd be better. Changing these things is really, really easy. That little black bit in there, you just do that. And that is the base for the whole ratchet system. There you go. That's it. Really, really easy. In terms of the shoes doing up, that part is weird and sort of doesn't work, and I don't really see why they've got it there. These parts are really good. Whenever I'm riding, I always use these. You just reach down, give them a click, and then you carry on thrashing. Yeah, really good. In terms of where it hits your feet, I haven't noticed any tight areas. The spacing on these seems to work really well. It doesn't seem to feel like it's crushing any part of my foot in any area. Now, I realise that will be different for every person, and some people will definitely, have some issues with fitting. But for me, these things have been really good. In terms of stiffness, I've never done any sort of scientific stiffness testing, but these things have taken everything I've thrown at them. I haven't noticed any bending or shifting or anything like that. I think they are stiff enough. Just for reference, I weigh between 65 and 63 kilograms, depending on what time of year it is, and I put out a fair amount of watts. I haven't noticed any bending or anything like that. I know a variety of other hardcore thrashers as well who have these shoes or have the newer versions of these shoes, and they also haven't reported any flexing, and they ride hard as fuck, harder than me. Let's start looking at the little things that they could have done better. All right. So to repeat myself, that bit is weird. Doesn't really make sense. The next thing, which they've cocked up, this rubber part here doesn't go far enough up when you put your shoe down at the lights or whatever. The rubber part doesn't stop the damage. The front part gets scuffed up very quickly after you buy them, which is depressing. This is my unclipping shoe, so you can see there's a lot more roughing up there. I think they should have carried the rubber up slightly round the front. I realise these are the, ultra racing shoes and not designed for sort of adventure riding or anything like that, but a little tiny extra bit of rubber there wouldn't really add much weight, and I think that would fix this issue here. These heels wear out very quickly, and the fact that they're two different parts is a bit stupid. Buying new ones, Specialized have priced them fairly high, which is a bit annoying, and I have actually had to replace these 2 times. I know on the new ones, on the S-Works 6, this is now a single unit, which is a better idea and proves that this was a shit idea. I realise this is kind of general wear and tear, but the material inside the heel has started to come off a bit. It's not a big deal, but it started to sort of flake off. And I realised that, these things have had, coming up to 4 years of very hard use. So, fair enough. The carbon on this heel section here has cracked. You can see that flexing there. There you go. Because that's very thin. They could have made that a little bit thicker. This is the same. That, of course, doesn't affect this front section, which is the business end, but I would have preferred them to make that a little bit thicker. This heel section just wrinkles down. Now, I know that in the S-Works 6, this heel has been completely redesigned and that won't happen. But, you know, again, that proves that this was a bit of a shit idea, really. In terms of stitching, absolutely nothing has come apart. It's been rock solid. All the stitching's perfect here, perfect all the way around here. These boa parts here have not come undone. All the bonding is totally excellent, totally fine. All the bonding around here, no problem at all. Everything's solid, completely solid. All the stitching around here, completely fine. Everything is spot on. Inside, nothing has come apart. Yep, so they're absolutely very, very well made. Very, very strong. Cosmetically, these are a bit fucked up, but they feel really good still. These soles are very beautiful when you get them out of the box, but you pretty much get gashed up immediately when you walk for, 5 meters across the floor. A bit sad seeing your beautiful shoes get smashed up like that, but whatever. Now, around the start of 2015, I started getting some sort of numbness, 5th, 4th and 3rd toes. I started getting numbness. Now, I thought originally it was actually a problem with the shoes. I changed insoles. I tried to ride with them slightly looser, a bit more tight. And, I kept on having these numbness issues. It got to the point where I was actually considering getting some different shoes. But then I thought, hang on a minute, it might not actually be the shoes. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I started investigating, better ways to stretch and dealing with my own body balance issues. And after I discovered a few deep leg and groin and hip stretches, magically this numbness went away. And I've not had it again since. The numbness that I thought I was getting from these shoes wasn't these shoes. You can notice this wear area here. Now that's the wear from the pedal, right, on the shoe. This makes a little bit of noise when you're really grinding up a climb. Now that is partially to do with my pedaling technique, especially my left foot. I tend to sort of do that a little bit when I'm pedaling. I don't know why. Maybe that's what all the cool people do. That's what I'm going to say. It makes a little bit of a sort of grit noise when I'm really putting it down. That's not a big deal, really. And I'm not sure how that's been addressed in the new S-Works 6 shoes, but just pointing it out, really. Overall, these things are absolutely fucking excellent, right? They're excellent. And everyone I know who's had these, I think will agree that these things are absolutely brilliant. The reason I'm still using these, and I was considering getting the new S-Works 6 shoes, I fell foul of the issue that a lot of people have had with the S-Works 6, where the heel section here is too high and it cuts into my ankle. So I'm still on these. I'm hoping that Specialized bring out the S-Works 7 so I can upgrade, but I don't really need to, because these things are so solid, so well made, so nice to ride, that it would just be an upgrade for the point of upgrading, really. A really good product.